And I just want to say hello to the listening audience and the viewing audience. My name is Curtis Smith, and I am filling in for attorney Linda Bernard on Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard. And just so you know, you are watching Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And today I have in audience a phenomenal individual. Um, and let me also just want to congratulate before we get started, Pastor Kurt.
Thank you so much, sir.
Attorney Linda Bernard and her sister Sharon Bernard are being awarded today, and that's why the host is not here,
Awesome.
and I'm filling in
Great.
from the Detroit Association of Women's Clubs.
Wow.
Linda and her sister Sharon are two phenomenal attorneys, and we want to congratulate them on their award.
Congratulations, attorney. God bless you.
So, Pastor Gloyd Kurd is in the house today, going to be sharing some information about his accomplishments, his vision, and what he wants to give back to the community. You know what? Before we even start, Pastor Kurd, one of the things I like to do is to begin a session with from a position of gratitude, and I know you know that very well because I read your book. And so, what we'll do is, before we get started, share with the audience three things you're grateful for, and not necessarily going into detail, but just spit off three things you're grateful for.
First and foremost, I'm grateful for salvation. I'm grateful for my Lord and Savior dying for my sins and giving me a new identity. I'm grateful for my wife and my family. Sometimes I can be forgetful of how good God has been to me, with giving me a beautiful wife, and I have 6 children, 6 amazing children, and 6 grandchildren. I'm a papa. Just for God has graced me to touch so many people's lives, and so many people have touched my lives. I just thank you for life, health, and strength, and this opportunity as well, sir. I know that's more than three, but thank you so much, sir.
All right, well, thank you, Pastor Gloyd Kurd. And my three things I'm grateful for my wife, my family, and then I'm going to say I'm grateful for Roger Penzabene for having this studio that
Absolutely.
provides a platform to share good information
Absolutely.
to the community. So, with that out the way, we're going to go into our discussion today. And, Pastor Gloyd Kurd, I first met you almost 10 years ago.
Wow, it's been that long.
And I met you because when I used to help run a professional semi-pro basketball team called the Detroit Coast to Coast All-Stars of the ABA,
Yep,
you were awarded a community award from our organization.
yep, I remember.
And we had you come out of half court and gave you a plaque. And so I'm not sure who in our organization had nominated you for the award.
Coach Dennis Foster.
Dennis,
Coach DJ.
oh, wow,
DJ,
he's a very
yeah.
successful coach at
Yeah,
Hamtramck.
at Hamtramck, I go see him all the time.
Yeah, I have yet to see him play, but I do
Yeah.
want to see him. He's a heck of a player and a coach.
Yep, he is.
And a mentor.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
It's called like something Change the Mentality is his group.
Yep.
And so and then also I run across you from attending basketball games
Yeah.
because you are an avid sports fan.
Yep. Absolutely.
And also when your phones are, when you don't change phones and I'm on your list, I do get inspirational words
Absolutely,
that come
sir.
either through text or links to YouTube.
Yep. We're reconnected.
And I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the thing I do want to say about you, Pastor Gloyd Kurd, is in public, you are just a humble person. I've never seen you with a posse. You tend to run solo, and you're always kind.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And you're very genuine and appreciative about seeing someone. So I think that's nice. And so, Pastor Kurd, when I asked you for some information about you, I was faced with a daunting task
Okay.
of how do I cover so much material in a 50-minute slot that we
Wow.
have. And so let me just, this is information that's, a lot of it's new to me because I didn't know this about you, but let me just share with you what I gleaned from the information you provided me and also reading some stuff on you. Pastor Gloyd Kurd is a husband of over 21 years,
Mhm.
a father of 6 children. You also said 6 grandkids.
Mhm.
You are a pastor for 2 churches
Mhm.
for many years.
Mhm.
You're a playwright.
Mhm.
You're a director.
Yeah.
You're an author
Mhm.
with 1 book out, 2 on the way.
Yep. Yes, sir.
You have a production company,
Mhm.
and you're a sharp dresser. So those are some of
Wow.
the stuff we're going to cover,
All
Pastor
glory to
Gerd.
God.
But what I do want to ask is just to get to know who you are and tell me, where were you born? Where you from?
Sedalia, Missouri. I was born, but Detroit is my home. Um, I think we moved here maybe when I was like 5 years old, and I've been here. We've been here ever since. So Detroit is my home.
All right. And which high school? You know, we asked that in Detroit. We asked what high school they go to.
KE, Kettering,
Kettering?
Go Blue.
Class
A
of?
bit 86.
You know what? You and I came to high school the same year.
Yep, 86. Yep.
So you'd be 55 this year.
Be 50. No, I'll be 56 in November.
In November, so you are 55.
Right, I'm 55 already.
All right. I'll be 55 in April.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The Big K.
The Big K. Yep.
That's on Harper and
Van Dyke. It's a factory now.
I heard. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, were you an athlete?
Well, I mean, didn't play on a high school team, but I've been playing ball all of my life, playing in different leagues, in the city, coaching different men's league and kids leagues until I just couldn't do it anymore. My time was really it got consumed, so I still love the game though.
You play rec ball right now?
No,
Or you used to?
it used
Just
to.
don't have time to do it really.
Man, I can't do what I used to do. Just can't move like I used to move.
And then one more question about you, because one of the pillars of strength that allows you, and I'm just surmising this, that one of the pillars of your strength is a strong foundation
Absolutely.
of your wife.
Mhm.
And how long have you? Well, 21 years married.
Mhm.
And where did you meet your wife?
Down at Legends nightclub some years ago, probably man, almost 30 years ago, man. Me and Trina met, and we just were friends.
Okay.
And then we dated a little bit, and then we stopped and we was friends, and we couldn't reconnected, and I was more serious. Okay, she always tell me all the time, I was always serious. You wasn't serious, so we dated, and in God calling me to the ministry. The Bible says that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, entertaining a favor. I knew where God was taking me to. I was gonna need a wife, and the type of mission that was on my life. I needed someone who was going to be not just submissive, but understanding of what God was asking us to do.
Okay, and that kind of leads me into my next question for you, Pastor Kurd. What motivated you to go into the ministry?
I have a heart for people. I tell people, I say, whether you believe it or not, pastoring was never on my bucket list, nor ministry. I have a heart for people. And when I see, I'm going to say, especially our people in my city, struggling for lack of identity, struggling for lack of comprehending how God has designed them. And it causes them to struggle, and they celebrate dysfunction or being mediocre. And I fell on my face asking God, how can I help? And he told me, you're chosen. And everyone that comes in contact with you, they're chosen. Your burden is, and it's a blessed burden, is to pour the greatness out of them because they may not know it. And so God, he just beckoned me to come higher into this position. It was nothing that I wanted and nothing that I had desired to do, but he just gave me a heart for him and his people.
And so So you love people
Love people and I love God.
and you love God,
Hmm.
and so a church is a place where you have both of those. You have people and you have the love of God,
Hmm.
and then so then how did you become an artist?
Well, I was managing businesses. I was a restaurant manager for years. I managed Applebee's for 10 years. I've managed other restaurants, connected with friends, and we opened up a restaurant. And that part of me is my passion for people and service. That was scratching that itch.
Now that's before you went to the ministry.
That's before I went to ministry.
Okay.
So God pulls me out of, we call it the secular system or the workforce. And I was really confused about what God was doing at the time. And I said, God, what are you doing? Why are you pulling me? You know, this is all I know is work. I've been working since I was 14 years old. All I know is business. All I know is administration. All I know is developing people. And this is what he told me. He took me to Genesis 12, and he said, I'm going to make your name great. And he said, I'm going to break everything that's not like me and that I can't get glory out of. He said, but where I take you, it's going to be amazing. And so I'm at home, and I'm like, God, I hear you, but what do you want me to do next? He said, son, write a play.
What year was this?
Man,
Around.
2006.
So in 2006, were you already a pastor?
No, wasn't in pastor. I wasn't even in ministry at all.
Oh, so the play came first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always thought the pastor came first.
Nope. So I wrote a play called Anointed but Flawed. That was my first play that I ever wrote.
Okay.
And I wrote this play, and we put it on. I found a music composer, and we put it on, and we had a pretty good we have pretty good results and pretty good feedback. So I wrote it again, and I tweaked it, rewrote it, and
Well, let me pause right there.
Mhm.
So you retweaked it. We're gonna come back to that.
Mhm.
But I gotta ask you this, Pastor
Mhm.
Kurd. Had you gone to school to learn how to write plays?
no, it's just a gift.
How did you? But how did you know the format? Plays have, there's a process in writing a play that when people read it, the whole set reads it and knows lighting, projection, distance between each other.
My finite mind can't even begin to wrap my mind around the finiteness of my mind, how God has graced me and gifted me to do it. But there still were some learning curves. There was some learning
Okay,
processes.
I got it.
I took some L's. I
All
took
right.
some losses.
All right, you
So
learned by trial.
I learned by it's it. Yeah.
So go back to you were talking about you wrote this play and you tweaked it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I interrupted you. But
No,
go
you're
ahead.
fine. You're fine.
So that first play was called what?
Anointed but flawed.
Which was also your the stage of your craft at that time.
Mm-hmm. Anointed but flawed.
Because you were a rookie playwright.
well, not just that. The church is full of flawed people.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. that's why they're there, right?
That's why they exactly. They're chosen, but you're flawed. Not just church people, period. If you're chosen for greatness, that you're not exempt from flaws.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that even shows you how more powerful God is to use a flawed person to make him great.
He gets all the glory.
Right? Because if you use a great person to make him great, that ain't doing nothing.
If you're not flawed, you don't need him.
All right. So you became an artist first, and your gift so far at this stage has been plays and productions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you know what I want to do, Pastor Kurt?
Mhm.
I want to come back to the theater
Okay.
because I want to spend a lot of time, but I want to interject something right now
Okay.
in terms of your skills and your giving back, and that is with your recently coming out released book
Okay.
called My Reality is God. Hold on, My Reality is God Designed Me to Be Great. But before we go into that, I need to do a station ID.
Okay.
And so, for the viewing audience, you are watching Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And in the studio today is Pastor Gloyd Curd, who is an incredible individual and an accomplished artist. And we are talking about what led him into ministry, and also we're talking about his artistic side in both as a playwright and all the associated roles that go with doing on production, and also as an author. And so I'm coming in to talk now about his most recent book that I purchased.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
on my
I appreciate
Kindle.
it. Thank you, sir.
And it's called My Reality is God Designed Me to Be Great. And so, Pastor Curd, I do want to mention that I read the introduction and I read the first day. It's a 31-day motivational, inspirational type guide. And let me tell you, I was blown away from the introduction.
Wow.
Because the introduction, you go into why you're writing the book and you want to help others. And the introduction is probably 3 to 4 pages long. And it's 3 pages of thanking people who have helped you along the way.
Absolutely.
Not only the people who are here now with us, but those who are in heaven. And what that told me about you was that you're a man who doesn't take any successes that they have as work on their own, but there are a lot of other people who had a hand in helping you attain the level of success that you have. And so those acknowledgments were awesome to read. And a lot of people
Thank you, sir.
have been a part of your life to get you where you are.
Absolutely.
So I guess my question is, that was a long way to say, why did you write that book?
Well, actually, when I wrote it, I always, whenever you get a text, the banner or the declaration at the end of the text, when I'm inspiring people, it says this: chosen to be great by Jesus and for Jesus. And that chosen to be great is a reminder of that we're designed by God to be great, and it's our reality. God loves us, and He wants us to be immensely successful. He wants us to be immensely prosperous, especially when it glorifies Him. And when I wrote this devotional, I was finishing another book called The Pursuit of God's Fullness. And I was about to publish the book, and God said, no, I want you to publish the devotional first. And right at the time, I had just lost one of my spiritual sons. He was killed in a car accident. And I was grieving, and I was questioning my relationship with God and my prayer life. And He told me, no, Reggie's reality is and was. He was designed by God to be great. His assignment is up. Yours is not. So I need you to press the narrative, to reinforce the narrative. Everywhere you go, wear the mantle of greatness and remind people that's our reality, that God designed us to be great. It's actually going to be a clothing line as well called My Reality. Is God designed me to be great? So it's just a reminder that failure is a teaching tool. And no matter what I'm going through, my reality is God designed me to be great.
Got it. And so, Pastor Gloyd Curd, the book, and we're going to say this a couple times. Where can folks purchase this book that you have just written?
Like you did, you just taught me something. It's I know it's on Amazon. You say you went through Kindle and purchased it. We know Amazon is on Borders. You can go straight to Zuline Press.
So you can get it online.
You can get it online, yeah.
Well, I will share with you and to the viewing audience that I purchased I did go to Amazon.
Okay.
And I searched, I didn't find it under your name, but I searched under the title, which again,
My reality is God designed me to be great.
And I searched it and it came up. And in Amazon, you're able to purchase this work 2 ways. One is through paperback. It's a paperback, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's $14. And then you also can purchase it digitally.
Okay.
And it gets downloaded to your Kindle.
Okay.
And I do have a Kindle.
Wow.
And it takes a matter of seconds and then you have the book. And so that allowed me to read it on my phone. And I do, that leads to another question, Pastor Lloyd Kurt. Is the book designed to be read one day a page, or it's day one and then there's maybe a couple pages? Is it designed to be read that way?
Absolutely is. It's to empower you daily, to encourage you daily, to uplift you daily, to remind you daily, because every day there's a different challenge. And I know we deal with things that sometimes are unexpected, and each day is a anchor to strengthen you, to root you in the confidence that no matter what I'm going through today, I'm an overcomer.
And so, Pastor Glory Kurt, that certainly falls in line with some other items I subscribe to, is the power of thinking positively. And how if a person thinks positive, it has ramifications on their physical feeling. And so no, I think that this book will help a lot of people. It also sounds like it'd be a good book to give as a gift.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
folks are just to give it, not even if they're not going through stuff,
Yeah.
but it offers an opportunity to be have positive thinking every day
Absolutely.
for a month.
That's it.
And I'm not sure how long it takes for something that if you repeat it, it becomes a good habit. I forgot how many repetitions it takes, and then it kind of jump starts and it
Right.
becomes a part of your daily being. So 31 days is about what it takes to have this stuff permanently etched into the mind.
Absolutely.
So, and you say the book just came out, right?
Just came out. Yeah, just came out, and I mean, man, we're excited about this book. I'm telling you, Curtis, Mr. Curtis, perspective is important. How you view things, how you see things. There was a saying that when I was managing Applebee's, perception is my reality, and that is absolutely true. If I have a perspective that I'm a winner, a champion, and I'm an overcomer, it does affect your well-being. And in positive thoughts, a positive perspective, that's how God designed us, to see how amazing He is through us and in us. And when you have that everyday perspective, man, your faith is unmovable and it is unshakable. And you'll feel like I can accomplish anything.
Since the internal euphoria. Well, let me ask you this, Pastor Kurt. Without mentioning names, can you share an example of when you helped someone with positive thinking that made a whole difference in the trajectory of how they were feeling and doing?
Well, it's my ministry. One of my passions, and you may have saw it in bio, is I'm a servant of the community. We not only serve hopeless people or homeless people, we serve police officers as well, and their job is difficult. Our first responders, they have a difficult job.
Sure.
And there were times when going through the challenges of wearing that blue, and I was called in just to encourage, to feed them, to cover them. I'm not a chaplain or anything like that. They're just my friends. And sometimes because they're looked at as, with this gun and this badge and this position, they're looked at as some type of or immoral person that's immune to stress and depression, and they're not. So we go over there and we lift them up and we strengthen them. We laugh with them, and they have what they call a Blue Weekend, and we go over there and we serve them and we feed them. And we do this throughout the city as well. We go to the 9th precinct and we feed them. Actually, in May, it's Police Week. We have to go over there and we feed them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Provide meals.
Yep. We barbecue, man. We.
Is this one time or the whole every day during the week?
This is just they have other institutions that's coming over there and they give us Saturday, but we have to prepare meals for 3 shifts.
For 3 shifts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's remarkable. And so, and while we're on the topic of the books, and we're going to go into the plays, but I wanted to say that to last because you have a nice event happening Mother's Day, and I like to close out discussing your
Absolutely.
production for Mother's Day. But while we're on the topic of books, I do want to talk about that you have two other books in the works, and what are those titles?
Well, like I said, when I started, my reality is God designed me to be great. I was concluding the pursuit of God's fullness. That's our next book. It's finished. It's written. We just have to get it published, and we're now uploading the manuscript to our publishing company. And then we're going to work on another 31-day devotional called the Victory of the Bold Believer. So be looking out for those two.
Okay, and do you anticipate those being released in 23 or 24?
My goal is to release the Pursuit of God's Fullness this year. You know,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. And certainly, it sounds like a book signing is in order.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. We are having a book signing. We're looking for the end of April, and we're gonna have a book
End of
signing.
April, that's pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Pastor Glory Kurt. If folks want to reach you about your books, about your ministry, about your theater production, which we're going to go into, what is the best way for that you would like the public to reach you with inquiries or offers of support, ideas?
Well, right now, of course, you can reach us Facebook. My title is "Blessed to Be a Blessing" on Facebook. The Then we have a Facebook page through Zulon Press, our publishing company. Just simply my name, Glory Kurt. That's where you can purchase the book. Reach out to me. Like I said, on Facebook, Blessed to Be a Blessing. You can reach out to me. I'm always looking for exciting, fresh actors for my plays. I love local actors. All I ask is be committed and be on fire.
Bring it, huh?
Yep.
Bring those skills and talent.
Yep.
Okay.
You can reach me too at glorycurt@yahoo.com, as well as my number 313-316-5454.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the email address and the phone number so that if folks wanted to reach you, they can certainly get their pen and paper or maybe pause the YouTube presentation, rewind it. But go ahead, say it one more time to reach Pastor Glory Kurt.
Via Facebook. First, Blessed to Be a Blessing. And then we have our publishing company, Facebook, Zulon Publishing Company, created a Facebook page that says simply my name, Glory Kurt. This is where you can also
Why don't
go.
you spell your name out?
GLOYDCURD.
Thank you.
This is where you can also purchase the book as well. You can reach me via email, glorycurt@yahoo.com. And you're going to need this number to purchase your tickets, okay? 313-316-5454. That's tickets for the play. Again, 313-316-5454.
Okay, and that's a great segue to go into this production company. And Pastor Glory Kurt, we are in the studio with Pastor Glory Kurt. I'll do a station ID. You are watching Chop It Up with attorney Linda Ballard. And me, Curtis Smith, is the fill-in host. And a guest is, again, Pastor Glory Kurt. This is live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And so, Pastor Glory Kurt, written 3 books. One is released, the other ones are in the process. Pastor 2 churches, 6 kids, 6 grandkids, married over 20 years, love sports, used to coach all different levels of sports, give back to the community, and now when was your production company formed? So playwright. So I also take it, if you are a playwright, you're a director?
Yeah.
You do the lighting?
No, we have We have our staff that takes care of the lighting and
Okay.
everything, and we have a musical composer, we have a videographer, things
Videographer.
that. Yep,
And you're also a promoter.
yep, have to be. You have to be.
And I'm looking at your information you shared with me, and I'm so impressed because I see about 5 or 6 plays that have been written by you.
Hmm.
And tell me about the production company called Blessed to Be a Blessing.
Like I said, I wrote the first play back in 2006, and I asked God. I said, God, what's the name of this theater company? He said, "Blessed to be a blessing," because that's what I'm transforming you into, to be blessed to be a blessing. And so begin to, I don't want to say recruit, but just look for actors. And I appraise their heart. You have to have a heart that wants to do great things in a humble way. So you can be great, but you have to be humble as well, because we keep going higher and higher and higher. And so when he gave me the theater name, Blessed to Be a Blessing, he dropped more plays in my spirit, you know, the anointed but flawed. And then I wrote a bio of my life of transitioning from a place in the world to a place in God's kingdom called Let the Redeemer of the Lord Say So. And then I wrote a play called Trade in My Life, and Hast Thou Considered the Deliverance of a Dysfunctional Family? Let the Redeemer of the Lord Say So. And Married with Single Intentions. This is a play that I wrote back in 2012, and I rewrote it a couple times. And this is a play we're about to put on, Married with Single Intentions. In each play, I write from some of my pain, some of my purpose, and I watch people. You know, and so that births my vision.
And and these plays, how long does it take to write a play? What's it called? Is it called a play script? What is the term for a script for a play?
We just call it a script.
Okay, it's just called a
We
script.
just call it a script.
And how long does it take you to write
It
a script?
depends. I wrote a play in 24 hours. I just stayed up all night and wrote. And then there have been some plays that took me 6 months to write.
And do you have a script editor that helps you out with your play?
You have to have people that look at your plays
Okay.
just for grammar and punctuation. As far as the vision, I don't have a ghostwriter. I write it.
No, I was thinking more for editing.
Yeah, just for
continuity.
Yeah,
too?
you have to have that.
Just
you have,
to make
you
clear,
have
it can be clear to you, but for the audience, they could need a little bit more description or.
exactly. It has to be legible to someone else. Okay, it has to be. They have to be able to read it and understand it. And I have people that do that for me. Because you can't do this by yourself. You can't. You need people from minor to major, and no one's really minor. To get this vision going, you have to touch a lot of people. You have to bring them with you.
Okay. And do you perform in your own plays?
Rarely. That's not a goal of mine. They tell me all the time. I've done a small cameo, very small, but I have no desire to act.
Do you do the Russell Simmons at the end?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I do that. Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
Is that before or after the rousing ovation and people clapping and the 10-minute applause?
Casting call. We pray for people. We usher them into salvation, and we thank them. We thank everyone for coming out. Because our goal is to leave a mark in someone's life that can't be erased. So that's our goal.
So it sounds like what it sounds like is the productions are entertaining, but they're also they can also touch someone who may be going through something and can identify. And I haven't seen one of your plays yet. Knowing you though, I think the play probably has a ending where it says the pain you've been through or the suffering is not in vain, and that you can overcome
That's it.
the trials and tribulations that life will bring them to you. If you live life, only way not to have them is not to be here.
Yep.
So if you live life long enough, you are going to go through some stuff.
Yes, you are. Keep living.
Yeah, and so your plays bring it back home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We go from tragedy to triumph in our plays, rags to riches. Um, you see the struggle, but you see, like I like to use that term, you see that overcomer's reality. You know, so people are, I've had people, so it's been so humbling, walk up to me and say, thank you, with tears in their eyes. Please keep writing. Please keep going. You know, that helped me and my family. We've had whole families come in and be blessed and touched and transformed by an experience of 2 hours. And so, you know, that encourages me.
And have and so one of the things is artists to me are some of the most courageous people,
Mm.
and that goes for you and your performers.
Hmm.
And do you all use the term thespians?
No, not really.
I was just being funny.
No, we don't. Okay.
I just think it's a funny word. But
Right.
the reason I say this is because an artist such as yourself
Mhm.
and the performers, they're courageous because they put it out there for critique.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
folk real quick to dog something out
Stay where. Stay where.
without offering anything of their own to share.
I've had it.
And so I've always said, to my mind, poets who read out loud, spoken word, and artists such as yourself and your performers are so courageous
Mhm.
because folks can be vicious.
There, intentionally and on purpose. But what I've you use the word so eloquently and it's appropriately courageous. It takes, I tell people, because we have children that act in our plays as well, and I really salute them, man, because they're brave, uh, they're bold, and they go out there, and we know that if we reach one person, we've won. We've done what we were supposed to do. And sometimes critique comes from different places. Some people critique to be relevant because you're relevant. Some people critique because they're insecure and they would love to do what you're doing. And what we do is, I tell people, when I'm critiqued, what I do is I give you, the person critiquing me, I'm going to learn why you're critiquing me. Because if you're critiquing me from a place where you've experienced what I'm about to experience, oh, I love it. I love it. Because now you're building me. You're helping me
So
build.
that sounds more like constructive feedback.
Exactly. If that's where it's coming from.
Right.
Okay. But if you're critiquing me from a place of jealousy, envy, or insecure, it's my goal and my job is to reach down and pull greatness out of you and allow your light to shine. This is what I believe. Because sometimes it's just people just critique because they're insecure. And they're looking at, wow, I would love to do what you're doing. But I tell people, it takes a lot. It's going to cost you a lot. And if you're not ready to pay the price, please don't jump. Stay normal.
And so when for folks who are interested in being in a play, and just these are just general terms, a blessed to be a blessing production. From let's say someone is selected, they've gone through the casting calls, they've auditioned.
Mhm.
How much? What's the time commitment until showtime? Lights call, curtain call.
It depends.
About, and these are just general.
We normally have 4 months. We rehearse 4 months before we get you a show. And sometimes it's less than that because I have seasoned actors that's been acting with me for a while.
So they know the
They know what's going to happen. They know what their obligation is and their responsibility is when it comes to being a part of Blessed to Be a Blessing. So my seasoned actors, if I've called them back, we quick. We're gonna meet once a week, rehearse for some hours. When it get close to the date of the play, we go to 2 to 3 times
A week?
depending on how much we have to cover.
got it. So okay, so expect to commit anywhere from 1 day to 3 days a week.
Exactly.
And when do you rehearse? After work hours?
Yeah. Like
Weekends?
7, no, Wednesday and Thursday sometimes. Now we're rehearsing on Wednesday, and we've been rehearsing start at 8 o'clock at 8 p.m. And we just did a photo shoot Wednesday, so we didn't get out of rehearsal till like midnight.
And so are you at all these rehearsals?
I have to be.
And you're still pastoring?
Yeah.
So how do you find time to write a sermon?
I just focus, man. I told you today I gotta go home and study for
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah.
For the
You
work
get it
Sunday.
in.
Yeah. Hmm.
So there's also two things I want to cover in the time we have left, Pastor Kerr, and one of them is just amazing, your vision. The one I do want to cover is, I have a buddy of mine named Steve Horn who loves basketball as well, and we do urban movies. So we've done 3 motion pictures. And one of the things that we like local actors, but one of the things that we just love is when folks who've been in our stuff go on to do bigger and better things.
Wow.
And so, do you have some of your performers who have used working with you as a platform to go into bigger and better productions, maybe in different cities?
Not yet, but they are. We have some amazing actors. We have a comedian that's in our play. His name is Josiah Jones. He's been doing plays with me for years as well, and he's traveling all over the country doing clean comedy, and he is very successful. So it's a blessing to have him back as the star. He's one of the stars of this play.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Hmm.
And we're going to go into the play for Mother's Day. Definitely want to talk about that. So one of the things, and you and I had a discussion that I just found immensely thought-provoking, is your plays are profitable. And because play is a business.
Yeah.
I mean, the message is wholesome and godly, and we want folks to get a lot out of it. But ultimately, a play has to there's expenses to run a play.
Absolutely.
And ideally you do a play to make a profit. And what I thought was so fascinating and generous, which I'm not surprised given who you are, was your partnership with churches so that they could receive a financial blessing from working with you, and you want to share the profits
Absolutely.
with the ecumenical community. And tell me a little bit about what's your vision of how do you share the tickets and
Churches have what we call a building fund. Okay, we know churches flow off of donations, tithes, and offering and things like that.
they also got insurance,
Insurance,
heating bills,
a lot of bills. I wish
repairs.
a lot of people don't realize
It's a
that
business.
they just think that the preacher is begging.
Well, let me
you
ask
know.
you this: if you're at church and you don't pay your DTE bill,
They cut it off.
DTE don't say, "Oh,
They
you're at
cut it-
church."
Exactly. I wish people realize that. No, we're not just begging. We are a community pressure reliever, which we should be. We're relieving pressure of hopelessness. We're relieving pressure of fear.
And comfort, providing comfort.
providing comfort. And so we need financial assistance to keep going. So one of the goals of Blessed to Be a Blessing is to assist with the building fund monster. And I would go to different pastors and I would say, listen to me. I'll come to your church or whatever venue that you rent out a lease out. And all I'm asking you to do and your congregation to do, your flock to do, is sell tickets. And let's say, for instance, if you want to sell a ticket for $30, and we get a venue that'll hold 500 people or 1,000 people, and we sell 1,000 tickets.
That's $30,000.
That's $30,000 to put on a show for a few hours, and a nice percentage of what we do goes to the church. Let's say, for instance, we made $30,000 for 2 hours because the church just sold tickets. All we asking is you sell tickets. I'll give you $10,000 just for selling tickets. I offer my script. I offer my cast. I offer my musical composer. I offer my vision. And all I ask is that the church just sells ticket. And you think about it, that would help at least quell or calm the building fund monster.
There you go. That's a tangible strategy that can be done. The other thing about it too is, $30 is a meal. $30 is going to the movies and getting some popcorn. $30 is for some folks, 30 swings at the casino on a dollar slot machine.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's an attainable
Absolutely.
business model
Absolutely.
that I think churches could have the opportunity and that you're willing to share with. And so we're getting down to the end of the interview. Let me do one more station ID. You're watching Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard. I'm Curtis Smith, the host, with guest Pastor Gloyd
Glory.
Kurd. This show is live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And Pastor Gloyd Kurd, as we kind of come towards the end of this interview, I do want to mention one thing that I hadn't talked about. The music of the plays. Phenomenal.
Man, we have some great vocalists, psalmists, songwriters. My musician, Julius Austin Jr., man, I love this guy. I will beat a lion with a toothpick for this gentleman. He rides with me, rolls with me. He's patient with me because I get agitated, and he calms me down. And he's a phenomenal musician.
Okay. And with the time remaining, Pastor Kurd, I do want to talk about this Mother's Day production you got coming out. Tell us about the name of the play and where can folks go see it? Where is it going to be performed and how to buy tickets?
Married with Single Intentions. Remember that name. Married with Single Intention. Written and produced by myself, Gloyd Kurd. It's Friday, May the 12th, and Saturday, May the 13th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m. The location of the play is a phenomenal location. It's 8801 Woodward, Detroit, Michigan, at the Bethel Community Center. This is a great venue. It's a beautiful venue. It has lighted parking, secure parking, security. It is absolutely safe. We have some amazing actors. Like I said, starring Josiah Jones, Summer Golden, Anea Merriweather, Darren Tyler Jr., Makisha Paul, Jason Vereen, Patrice Wilson Graham, Dr. Dwayne Harris, Tamara Franklin Williams, and my director is Yanada Tyler. Man, we have some awesome people.
And thank you, Pastor Kurd. And Woodward, what's the major cross street?
Gladstone, 8801 Woodward at Gladstone. As soon as you cross Claremont, you look to your right. As soon as you cross, when you look to your right, it's over there in the Little Rock Baptist Church area and Constantine area.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be on the west side of Woodward?
On the west side of Woodward, yeah.
Okay.
Huge building, you can't miss it.
Okay. And so, wow, it has been an honor to have you in the studio. You are an incredible human being. And you know, I've known you for almost 10 years and had no idea of all the accomplishments you have. And that's because you're a humble guy. Man. When we're at the basketball games, we're here to watch some good basketball.
That's why I'm there. I'm not here to talk shop. I'm here to watch this game.
And the other good news that you may want to share with the viewing audience is, what is Cass Tech about to do? Basketball?
Cass Tech right now is at Ferndale. These are schools that I go watch. They're playing for the state championship, Class A, and I believe Ferndale is Class B.
It was Division I and Division II now.
With Division I and Division II. Yeah. So they're playing for the state championship up at the Breslin Center.
And East Lansing, on the
East
campus
Lansing,
of Michigan State University.
Mm-hmm. Can I get my number?
Yes.
And for ticket information for the play, 313-316-5454. Again, you can email me at gloydkurd@yahoo.com, or you can reach out to me via Facebook. Blessed to be a blessing.
And yes, that was it. And so, Pastor Gloyd Kurd, thank you for coming into the studio.
Me. Attorney Linda, thank you for this opportunity. Bless you, woman of God.
Attorney Linda Bernard, this is her show, and
appreciate you.
And so she gives me leeway when I.
And Mr. Roger, thank you, sir.
Yes, we're hosting the whole thing, and we're gonna wish that Cass Tech wins. This is their first time in the state championship since 1974.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Coach Hall, I believe, is the head
Steve
coach.
Hall, yeah.
And I don't know who the Ferndale coach is, but with
Juan Rickman.
Juan Rickman, he's a friend of yours.
Yeah,
And we just won both of those programs to bring home the state titles to this part of the state.
absolutely.
Wow. And I'm just impressed. I look forward to finishing your book. I've
Thank you, sir.
started it,
Appreciate you, Mr.
and
Curtis.
it's a great book. And I just think that the positive thinking that you impart on folks will help a lot of people.
Thank you so much, sir.
And again, if you've been watching Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms, please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And in the studio is a Pastor Glory Kurd, a accomplished author, pastor, father, grandfather, former coach, playwright, and you name it, and businessman.
Absolutely, sir.